You thought you had laid something down. You thought you had laid a series away. You thought you had said, you know what? I'm not interested in this anymore, or at least not in recording this anymore. I think I'm gonna stop reacting to this thing. But then they hit you with a combo you just can't fucking resist. So for the first time in a long while, hello everyone, my name is JohnnyFerno and welcome to Death Battle! Sauron versus the Lich King. Now, saying that combo alone is hyping me up a little bit because for those of you who are new to this channel, I did used to do Death Battle reactions like many years ago. I used to do Death Battle reactions. Then I stopped because the battles didn't really get me anymore. I began to know less and less of the people who were being pitted against each other, and it wasn't really fun if I didn't really know them. And along the way there were some pairings, there were some matchups that got my attention, like Hercules versus the Sun Wukong. That was a really fun one. And like other examples. But it never really got me to think, oh, I have to react to this. Until this came along. Lord of the Rings and Warcraft. You cannot hit... you cannot hit two, like, brands of fiction that gets me more than Lord of the Rings and World of Warcraft. I love both immensely. Yes, even Warcraft with all the bullshittery that Blizzard is in the middle of right now. As soon as I saw this was up, I was like, I have to react to this. Like, I have to. Fucking... God damn it. To quote a movie, once I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those who have been begging for me to return to Death Battle, welcome to Sauron versus the Lich King. Now, before we go, a little bit of prediction. I'm gonna say this. I think Sauron is gonna win. Now, don't get me wrong, fellow Warcraft fans. The Lich King is an incredible, powerful Death Knight. He is the Lord of Undeath in his world. And just... he can summon armies at a beck and call. His armor, his sword is all, like, immensely powerful. Sauron is the dedication of a fallen angel. Like, pretty much, if I understand his lore correctly, he's kind of a fallen angel. If not, he's really fucking close. I think Sauron is gonna win. Because we've seen Arthas lose to people weaker than Sauron. Sauron could bash our entire armies away with his mace. And Arthas has lost to Illidan. And I am sure they're gonna use that as a point against him. So, well, I guess you could make the argument that as soon as Arthas gets a hold of the ring, then he will win, because that's the only thing keeping Sauron together. But I'm excited to see what they say. Still can't believe I'm back. So without further ado, my dear friends, let us watch Death Battle, Sauron versus the Lich King.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by Bespoke Post and Shady Rays.
Oh, I have to make sure it's the good quality. That fine quality. Alright, give it to me, boys.
Sauron, the Lord of the Rings.
The Lich King, Warcraft's Lord of the Scourge.
Evil has many shapes, but few can match the presence of these kings of blight and shadow.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Sure, they're also doing it as like as a promo for Power of the Rings.
At the dawn of creation, the supreme god Eru and his angelic Ainur created all of existence through a single harmonious song.
But one of these angels just had to be a rebel. Melkor ruined that harmony, giving the world its many, many imperfections, like Wiz. Then after messing up God's hit
Heh.
single and going rogue, Melkor took up a new name just to be even more metal. Morgoth.
Morgoth's power was impressive, daunting. Several Maiar, essentially lower-ranked angels, joined him in his frightening conquest of the world he had helped create.
And the greatest of these followers was one obsessed with destroying all life in the pursuit of bringing about complete order.
He used to be Myron, but under Morgoth's reign, he became the one and only Sauron.
As the bigwig of Morgoth's forces, Sauron
Look at him.
spent thousands of years bringing Middle-earth to its knees.
He's almost more a force of nature than anything else, able to
Pretty
create
much.
infernos, cause country-spanning earthquakes, and even absorb souls.
And because he's a weird angel,
They're taking in the games? I actually never read up if the games were technically like considered canon or not. But okay, if they're gonna.
Spirit Man, he can morph his body around his own soul however he wants, or just shed it like clothing and fight as a ghost.
He can morph far beyond that. He has appeared as something akin to both man and elf, attractive and devious. A werewolf, once thought to be the greatest wolf of all, and even a vampire.
Oh man, Tumblr's gonna go nuts with that.
Many of his greatest accomplishments are not due to his powerful magics and weaponry, but his inhuman cunning. Sauron is nothing less than a master of manipulation.
He's like if Loki and Satan did a fusion dance.
Yeah.
He loves to trick someone with illusions, shadow magic, or just by toying with their sad, predictable, pathetic human emotions. Like when he convinced Saruman to join the evil side, who was basically a super wizard specifically meant to lead the charge against Sauron.
That was the entire point of the White Wizard. Like, out of all of the colored wizards, by the way, I'm gonna nerd out throughout this entire video. Should have warned you all about that. But yeah, the entire point of the White Wizard of the Council of Wizards, basically, was that he was supposed to lead the charge against the Dark Forces. The Grey Wizard was supposed to like wander around. You know, Gandalf was supposed to wander around, talk to people. But the White Wizard, he was supposed to be basically like not a general per se, but like the one who's supposed to help to be at the forefront of leading against the darkness, if I remember correctly.
In some ways, Sauron is actually wiser than the master he served. In the most epic war to eclipse all other wars, humans, dwarves, elves, and more
Oh,
unite
God,
to
I remember
destroy
this game.
Morgoth, casting what remained of Melkor
Oh
into
my
the
god.
void.
I'm sorry, I'm getting so much nostalgia flashbacks right now. I still have that game. It refuses to install on my PC though, which makes me very upset.
But Sauron saw it coming and bailed faster than me at a divorce hearing, just to show back up centuries later in the fiery pits of Mordor.
There, the Dark Lord created a plan to conquer everything. He fooled the Elven Smiths into forging 19 rings of power and planted them among the leaders of Elven, Man, and Dwarven kind, all controlled by another ring he made in secret.
The one ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them. Oh god, that's so epic. Think him into poetry now. Forged in the fires of Mount Doom using part of Sauron's own soul, the One Ring amplified his power and let him control the minds and actions of the other ring bearers.
The 9 kings of men were especially vulnerable and saw themselves reduced to twisted wraiths bent to Sauron's whims.
It wasn't any better for the less kingly humans, so much so that Sauron mind-controlled most of Numenor. We're talking about an island nation that could have had as many as 18 million people, and Sauron had them all at his creepy, pokey fingertips.
Actually, fun fact, while the humans quickly fell under Sauron's command, the rings belonging to the dwarves, that did not work. The dwarves were too greedy. The dwarven kings, their pure levels of spite and greediness prevented Sauron from influencing them too much. That's just amazing.
This led to retaliation from Eru, who had hardly directly intervened ever before, even against Morgoth. Eru sank Numenor, while Sauron was still on it. But the Dark Lord's spirit persevered, indestructible even against the wrath of God.
Sauron used the ring to build himself a new body. It may have cost a lot of power, but he took a biblical event to the face and went right back on to being evil.
And yet, putting so much power into one object did have drawbacks.
Which hit back hard when Isildur subtracted a digit from his hand.
The Warrior King did more than just cut off a finger. He took the ring and its power for himself. This act forced Sauron to retreat as a disembodied spirit, threatened by his own power in the hands of another. And should the One Ring be destroyed completely, Sauron's spirit could be rendered impotent beyond repair. It isn't all bad, though. The ring can turn you invisible, create visions of impending doom, and has one hell of a defense mechanism.
Yeah, who'd want to destroy it when it makes you want it? It has a will of its own, with promises whispered even the best of us can't refuse. The greatest poultry dinner ever, Boomstick. Bourbon, pecan, parmesan, turducken. It's so precious.
What did you just do?
What? It sounded delicious. Well, ring or no ring, Sauron's a beast. He's swatted away armies of soldiers, interrupted
His
Mount
strength
Doom
is
for sheer
incredible.
willpower. He has total control over his own being and can modify his soul at will. So he can definitely resist someone like spooky ghost Celebrimbor trying to dominate his spirit.
And being
That is actually a point I was waiting to raise up until we got to Arthas. Arthas is known to be able to manipulate and torture people's souls, but with this knowledge, that ability is impossible. Unless he has some way of overcoming that, he cannot mess with Sauron as a soul, as a spirit.
among the strongest Maiar, the peak of Sauron's power is beyond that of Osei, a lesser Maya, which is specifically important because Osei single-handedly raised the island of Numenor.
Yeah, remember that island that got Noah'd? That place. No wonder everyone wants his ring. Who could turn down that much power?
Not Isildur. The hearts of men are easily corrupted, and he kept the ring rather than destroy it. But in the end, the ring destroyed him and waited for its master's return.
Sauron was rebuilding Mordor into a world-conquering force. And after a little bit of good old-fashioned torture, he found out the ring was in the Shire. The chillest, coziest, dopest place imaginable.
I wanna be in a Shire.
Oh, man, when I retire, I'm gonna go live in a hobbit hole and just get lit 24/7.
Fuck
And
yeah.
so began the War of the Ring. Sauron's forces covered the land, seeking both the ring and the downfall of man, always shadowed by the symbol of his ever-present influence, the Eye of Sauron.
It was a slaughter fest. Middle-earth stood no chance. Everybody basically accepted death by orcs as inevitable. It was hopeless. The
Orcs and
kingdoms of
Uruk-hai.
men would finally fall for good.
Save for the Dark Lord's truest weakness. Sauron's cunning and stratagems were impressive, sure, but ultimately, he never truly understood the people of Middle-earth. In his mind, absolute power was factually irresistible. He never imagined a mere mortal could ever, or would ever, seek to actually destroy the One Ring.
He was
Against
partially
all
right.
odds and a whole lot of walking, Sauron was defeated. Not by the sparkly new king or the armies of Middle-earth, but by the most unlikely creature imaginable, Elijah Wood.
Yet, even as a formless shadow, Sauron's legacy remains one of domination, treachery, and most of all, fear. Fitting for the being that represents, and I quote, as near an approach to the holy evil will as is possible.
Sauron is pretty badass. So how are they gonna do?
Battle is sponsored by Bespoke Post.
Gear up for fall with Bespoke Post.
Alright. I'm gonna cut this in the video.
On the distant planet of Draenor, destruction was imminent. The orc shaman
Yes, they're going with this, not the bullshit in the new expansion. Sorry, I'm angry about Shadowlands.
Ner'zhul prepared a spell with his followers to tear the planet asunder, all to escape the fury of the demon lord Kil'jaeden.
But when Ner'zhul waltzed through the portal, Kil'jaeden was right there waiting for him.
Ner'zhul was forced to serve Kil'jaeden's will to ravage another world, Azeroth. Thus, he was transformed into the first Lich King.
This Lord of the Dead was sent to the continent of Northrend, but Kil'jaeden had one more twist for poor Zul. His body was gone, leaving just his spirit, which was bound
What's
to
about
a
to
set
say?
of armor sealed within a prison of magical ice. Man, this guy can't catch a break. Armor looks sick, though. He's gonna possess me if I put that on, huh?
From
Ner'zhul
his
did not have a
frozen
good
prison,
one.
The Lich King would begin his conquest, conjuring an unstoppable plague of undeath. Soon, this would threaten the lives of the kingdom of Lordaeron.
Okay, so that was a lot, but here's where our main guy finally shows up. Lordaeron's crown prince and holy knight, Arthas Menethil.
The
Yeah,
big
his name
bright
does
boy.
kinda sound like something your doctor would give you for fungus, but hey, no. Arthas was a badass. At 19 years old, he was considered one of the best swordsmen in the world and had mastered nearly every weapon he could.
Even with such a skilled warrior as its prince, Lordaeron was already severely pressured by a war with an orcish horde, so a zombie plague was the last thing Arthas needed. Compounding this even further, Ner'zhul managed to break free of Kil'jaeden's power and turned his attention toward creating a champion to lead his ever-growing scourge.
Yep.
Naturally, he chose Arthas.
Who was a stressed out mess, to the point where he tried to stop the plague by killing everyone in his own city. Holy shit! Yeah, he was totally losing it.
Yeah, the calling of Stratholme was not Arthas' brightest moment.
So hearing a creepy voice in his head really didn't help.
Long story short, in his efforts to protect his realm, Arthas discovered a rune blade and took it for himself. This was the fearsome Frostmourne.
Surprise! It's the source of the Lich King's power.
One of the
He was
coolest
stealing souls and
weapons,
storing them within
swords
the
in
blade.
gaming.
With this new ice-cold
Look at that
cleaver in
thing.
hand, Arthas lost his soul and got a Death Knight makeover.
And so the former hero of light would lead the very scourge he previously fought.
And in time, Arthas would don the armor for himself, giving the Lich King a new, ultimate power. Walking!
Remember, everything the Lich King had done up until this point had been from his prison within a literal block of ice.
And this new Sauronite armor, Saronite armor,
Ah.
is the best. Like, what was it doing stuck in ice all this time when it's made of old god blood and self-repairs? Screw you, blacksmith, you're never taking my hard-earned gold. I'll never have to get naked and die again.
By donning this dark
Aight.
helm, Ner'zhul and Arthas fused to become one, a being far more powerful than either had been before.
He could effortlessly cover cities in ice storms, murder hundreds with the power of shadow, and learn all of your secrets with the Eye of Acheris.
Azeroth's fate was sealed. Everyone was doomed.
See this guy? He's Illidan, a 15,000-year-old demon hunter with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. As a Death Knight, Arthas could take him down, even after fighting through a massive army to get to him. Against this new Lich King, Illidan never stood a chance.
You know, I'm gonna punch my earlier self for saying that Arthas lost to Illidan because, oh my god. I misremembered that completely. You guys have been yelling at me from the start, haven't you? Oh my god. I have to put up a notice, but
This is important because Illidan had absorbed the power
I'm ashamed.
of Gul'dan, an orc warlock who, alongside his followers, raised the Broken Isles out of the sea, a massively powerful feat of magic.
The fact that Arthas, a mortal guy, beat him up is a big deal. Just imagine how kick-ass he'd be in full control of the undying Lich King powers. Oh wait, we don't have to.
Ner'zhul may have pulled Arthas' strings up until this point, but he had made a drastic miscalculation. Within the mind of the Lich King, Arthas battled Ner'zhul for control, and won. The power of Frostmourne, of the Scourge, of Undeath itself, was now under the command of Arthas.
And by this point, he was just done. Like, with everything. We've all had one of those days, right? Where you see all of humanity is so pathetic they can only be saved by just killing them all, so you rip out your own heart. Yeah, relatable.
Yeah, I did
Determined
that.
to end all life, Arthas led his scourge across Azeroth, spreading the plague to every corner of the world. He slaughtered every contender in his path, including legendary champions like this hero of the Horde, Dranosh Sarfang.
Who the Lich King bitch slapped to death in one hit, then zombified to serve him instead. Man, that didn't go well.
The Lich King seemed unstoppable.
Only one thing could take him down. A 25-man raid team of the best nerds World of Warcraft servers had to offer. And that one guy who was just there because he was friends with somebody, but damn, he sucked.
With these, heroes triumphant, the Paladin Tyrion shattered Frostmourne with an equally legendary blade, ending the
The
Lich
Ashbringer.
King's vile reign.
But the Scourge doesn't work on Phantom Menace battle droid rules, so there must always be a Lich King to keep the relentless undead in check.
Yet no Lich King before or since ever matched the terror and malice Arthas brought to Azeroth.
Without a doubt, one of the most terrifying kings to ever conquer the world of Warcraft.
I still have a feeling Sauron is gonna win. It's pure level of power, and it would be really difficult to take him out. Because even if Arthur somehow took the ring from him, it can't be destroyed by any other means than Mount Doom. So unless I've missed something, I don't think Arthur is gonna win this. As much as I love the Lich King, as much as I am a Lich King fanboy, I don't think he's gonna win this against the Dark Lord. Guess we'll find out.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by Shady
Skipping.
Rays.
Are you looking for an industry-best combination of fit, style? For yourself, the Shade's rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people.
Alright, let's get to it.
Alright, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for an undeath battle!
It really is. It really is. Of course, we start with Arthas on his throne. He looks so fucking baller.
I shall claim what is mine.
I just realized we'll have two deeply gravelly voices talking to him. I shall have. No, I will. Sorry.
In this cold north, you will find only death.
Let's go. God, this just looks so cool. The Great Wolf.
I'll tear out your heart. You will find nothing. Your efforts are for naught.
Gonna summon this dragon. He just summoned a volcano. Wow, these visuals are cool. Like, say what you want, the visuals are amazing. Oh. Did he put the plague on him? What? What?
You serve me now. I serve no one. Witness the prophecy of your doom.
Oh, right, they both have eyes.
Nothing but lies.
Yeah, yep, there we go.
There is no life in the void. Only death.
Yeah. Badass, even rains fire. Sorry, all this.
KO! Well, if he wasn't all
This was an incredibly close fight.
powerful before, look out for supercharged Sauron now.
Despite the Lich King's impressive power, Sauron's might was absolute.
But not before he got the duel of his life in a crazy close bout. First up, both Dark Lords could counter pretty much any mind or soul-screwing powers, making a lot of their usual tricks way less noteworthy in this match.
To be fair, the Lich King severely debilitated Sauron via his plague of undeath. Most physical bodies would not survive such a disease.
So Sauron just got rid of his body. Who needs it? Especially when you can rebuild one or just start fighting as a ghost. Both things Sauron could do.
After all, the plague is intended for organic mortal enemies and has never infected a spirit.
Another smaller point for Sauron was his weakness. The Lich King was a clever bastard, but even with the Eye of Icarus, it would have been tough for him to decode and destroy the One Ring. Meanwhile, given enough power, Sauron would naturally end up destroying Frostmourne. He's kinda got a thing for breaking swords.
So let's compare their power. While their highest limits are certainly nebulous, interestingly enough, some of the most impressive feats from both worlds involve lifting islands. As Sauron is a more powerful Maya than Osei, and the Lich King could reliably defeat someone with Gul'dan's magic, it is possible to gauge the difference in power by measuring the islands that were raised.
Keep in mind, Gul'dan had a bunch of help, so we're only giving him his share. Turns out, Osei was doing twice the work.
By examining official maps to determine the volume of the islands, we found a difference between lifting 2 quadrillion tons of rock versus 4 quadrillion tons.
Damn.
Among further energy required to actually lift these through the ocean, of course. Both impressive, sure, but Sauron had the edge.
And for the final nail in the coffin, the Lich King might have been super scary, but he really wasn't around for all that long. At least not when compared to the experience Sauron has warring with the world for thousands of years.
The Lich King certainly posed a threat to Sauron, but the ruler of Mordor's awesome might, enduring spirit, and millennia of treachery proved him the superior Dark Lord.
Wow!
Is that it?
What? Are you sour on the pun? I was pretty keen about it.
The winner is Sauron.
Ah! Really?
Hey,
Probably
if
the
you want more
wow!
Death Metal ASAP, why not grab a membership? You'll get exclusive
Oh,
emotes,
God. I wonder
badges,
who's up
live
next.
Chat, live
What if
streams,
they're
and a
gonna
bunch
pull
of
me back for
behind-the-scenes
another
stuff.
one?
Just click that join button. Thanks for watching.
Alright, who is it? Who is it? Maybe they're pulling me back for another one. Oh, goodness me. Alright. So that did go about as I expected. Again, I love the Lich King with my entire heart. One of my nerd dreams is to own Frostmourne, the sword itself. It's so fucking cool. But at the same time, one of my other nerd dreams is also owning the One Ring. So there you have it. Yeah, but yeah, like they said, both of them were immensely powerful in their own rights. One of them is just a legit fallen angel. So there's that. I know I'm oversimplifying it a lot by just saying that, but still, I just want to put it out there. But yeah, this was a pretty cool fight. And yes, it was fun to react to a death battle, but it was fun because I knew the characters. That's why I haven't reacted to death battle in I don't know how many years at this point. So while many of you may think, yeah, he's back to death battle, I am not. I'm only gonna react to death battle if I really feel like there is a connection between me and the characters. Like I may watch the Deku fight, but I may not because I am still far behind on My Hero Academia and I don't want to be spoiled. And I know there's like so many seasons. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. It was fun nerding out against between two franchises that I really freaking love. But before I go, as always, the link to the original video will be in the description below, so you can go and support the original project. Do it because Death Battle is pretty fucking cool. There'll also be links to my Twitter, my Twitch, my DeviantArt, my Twitter, my Twitch, and my Patreon if you want to go there and support me. Speaking of my Patreon, we have of course the list here of the lovely people who are still there supporting me after all this time. Those people are Loquacious, JRock1989, Matthew Donovan, Anime Gaia 1, Bookworm, and Danish Faye. Thank you all so incredibly much for your continued support. I legit am so fucking grateful. You guys have saved me so many times with your Patreon donations. I cannot pay you guys back enough. But yeah, I don't think there's any much else to say. Thank you all so much for watching, my dear friends. Please remember to love each other, and also always remember to treat yourselves once in a while, because you freaking deserve it. So as always, my dear friends, my name is JohnnyFerno, and I'll see you guys next time.